everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I was tagged by Reads. I will link her channel down below. She tagged me in the mid-year book freakout tag. We're doing that today. I'm reading this off like a blog thing, so I don't know where it's actually from or whether these are the right questions, so we're just going with this. I have not read a lot this year, so I'm kind of disappointed in that. But I want to kind of progress in my reading a bit more. I found out today I'm actually 7 books behind my reading goal, which I set according to Goodreads. That's not a great start to this video. I'm planning to do a readathon this holidays because I'm currently on break from school for 2 weeks. If that's something you think you might enjoy, let me know. I'll set up a date and everything and we can kind of do a readathon. The first question of the mid-year book freakout tag is the best book you've read so far in 2015. I do not own this book, but I loved this book and I wrote a response on it for English. That was The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. I did a review of that book on my channel. I'll also link that below. It's a lot of poems that she has wrote about events that she has gone through, and very deep and meaningful, and some of them you don't think that you can relate to them, but you actually can. I would highly recommend reading that book. I think Emma Watson's book group, they're reading Milk and Honey. I'm going to try and pick that one up and read that one. Best sequel you've read so far in 2015. I haven't read many sequels this year. I write all my books down in this here so I make it look all pretty. I haven't actually been up to date with what I'm reading, so I haven't read many series, but I've read like 2 series, and that is Harry Potter and Twilight. I'm gonna go with Harry Potter because it's Harry Potter. Harry Potter's just that wee fraction ahead. If you've got any good sequels that you would recommend, let me know because I'm wanting to advance in some sequels. Number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. If I'm being honest, I have not kept up with releases. I'm terrible at that. I'm currently reading a new release that was this year, and that book is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. I'm quite enjoying this book so far. I'm about a third of the way through it, so there's still a lot left. I actually got this book because Emma from Emma Books, she did a review on it about how much she loved it, and it sounded like a book which I'd quite enjoy, so I got it, and it's my new release of the year. Personally, I would recommend this. There are heaps of chapters set within each section, a day within each section. It's quite interesting to follow the characters, and it's kind of like third-person views. However, you're also in depth with certain characters as well. But go check out this book if that is something that you'd be willing to read. Number 4 is the most anticipated release for the second half of 2018. I am not up with releases, so I personally cannot answer that question, but if you guys have some good releases, then let me know because I would love to see what you guys are reading, and then I can probably get them out of my library and kind of read them as well and keep up with everyone. Number 5, your biggest disappointment. I'm gonna go with Every Heart a Doorway by Senan Maguire. I have heard a lot of booktubers liking Every Heart a Doorway, but I never got into it, and I was really disappointed that I wasn't connected in with the book as much as I had wished I was. Every Heart a Doorway was a book that everyone was like anticipating. Go read it. It's such a good book. It was originally published in April in 2016, so I'm like 2 years on, but I've been watching a lot of people read this and say that they really enjoyed it, so I'm like, yes, I'm gonna go into it with high hopes, smash it out. I felt really disappointed by it because I didn't connect with the book like everyone else was, and I felt like I just going into the book with high hopes was just a letdown. Moral of the story, don't go in with high hopes because it never ends well. Biggest surprise is question 6. I'm going to have to go with The Sun and Her Flowers just because of how deep and meaningful each of those poems were, and connecting to them myself, I was just amazed by how much it impacted what my views were and how I kind of perceived things after I had read the book. Definitely go read it. I will beg you to read it if you have not. If you connect with it, then I'll be so happy for you. If you don't, that's alright. Just think about how others can connect to it, and also have a look at Rupi's background, because there are some things in her background which will really surprise you once you read her background, read her book again, and you'll kind of understand why she came up with the poems that she did, why she does what she does, why she doesn't use punctuation or capital letters or anything. It will honestly surprise you. Number 8 is your newest fictional crush, Simon Spears from Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I know he's gay, and I respect that, but fictional crush wise, he would be a good pick. I can relate to him, and I just think he's like an all well-rounded person. He's like down to earth. Simon just seems like a great person that you can have a good discussion with, and he just seems like a person that could connect with anyone and help anyone, really. He won't go for my type. He's still one of those crushes. It's like a celebrity crush, you know, that you're not gonna, go out with them or anything, but you still have that little bit of hope that they know you. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. This is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. I cried so much at the ending of this book. It is so sad. I'm not going to say much because it spoils everything. The main protagonist becomes friends with a Jew from a concentration camp, and they go on some adventures, and it doesn't end very well. I'm not going to say any more than that because I'm going to spoil it otherwise, and I hate doing that, so I must stop there and move on. Favorite book to movie adaptation you saw this year? Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I unfortunately watched the movie before I read the book because I went to go see it with some friends, and I loved the movie. I cried so much within the movie. A lot of people don't cry within it, but I feel like I could connect to Simon's character through some of the events he went through. Not the exact same events, but I went through some similar stuff. I just felt like connecting with him created some kind of secrecy between us somehow. It just worked and made me cry. Thank you to the producers for that. Number 13, favorite review you've written this year. I am bad with reviews, so I'm going to kind of count them as responses that I do for my English class as well. Say The Sun and Her Flowers yet again, because of how much I connected to it. I could say so much about all the poems, all the themes, all the ideas, everything I felt, and connect them together. My review on my channel sounded like crap, but my actual response for my English class, I found I did really well on that. I felt like I did a really good job, so that is going to be my book pick for a review. Most beautiful book you've bought this year so far. I'm not quite sure which book I like more, but I'm definitely debating between The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and the other one is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I love this book. I was thinking about doing a review on this book, so if you want me to do one of those, let me know, I'll do that. So I'm wanting to do more reviews on this channel, like always, but never do that. I would say two of my favourite books. I got this from Book Depository, and I got this from an op shop in great condition. I love it. Love the contrast of colours, the black on the white. It's great. And I like this because, I don't know, I just really like the idea of just having the words on the background and then the title on the front. I don't know, I liked it. Yeah. And the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Pretty much everything on that shelf. I suck at reading books that are on my shelf. My biggest challenge that I want to get through is It by Stephen King. It's currently on my shelf, but I've kind of put it back on there after reading it, or trying to read it. I'm about like a third of the way through, but kind of gave up, but I want to get back into reading it. That is my mid-year book freak out tag. I don't know if that's the actual tag itself. I got it off a blog, as I said earlier, but we're gonna go with that. And this one's from 2015, so it could have updated between then and now, but this is what I've got. So thank you for tagging me. I'm going to be that person that doesn't tag anyone because everyone's probably already done this tag by now, so it's kind of pointless doing that. And then you gotta go search through people to find people, and I'm lazy and don't want to do that. So if you haven't done the tag yet and you want to do it, then you're tagged. That's it for the video, and I'll see you guys next week. See ya.